Every night, his dead brother waits for him in the hallway. On the third night after the funeral, Marcus woke to the house feeling too big. He had moved back in because rooms full of other people felt wrong. The hallway light buzzed like a small insect. He opened his bedroom door and saw a shape standing under the bulb. A thin, pale figure that was too familiar to be only a shadow. Marcus held his breath. The figure did not move. It waited. At first, Marcus told himself it was sleep and hunger and grief. He had been the one to call the police the night of the accident. He had watched paramedics fold the evening into a paper-thin thing. He had said words in the hospital that felt adult and empty. Still, the hallway felt patient, as if someone had left a question unfinished. The visits grew steady. The figure appeared after midnight and lingered until the light gave up. Sometimes it stood at the far end, a dark shape against the wallpaper's faded pattern. Other nights it drew closer, keeping a polite distance, as if afraid of stepping over an invisible line. Marcus learned the sound of its arrival, a soft scrape, like a shoe on old floorboards, and a small pressure in the air that made him think of rain before thunder. Neighbors offered explanations. Mrs. Kahn from next door brought tea and said, "Maybe you can't leave because you haven't said something." Her eyes were tired but clear. Marcus wanted to argue. He had told David it was all right to go. He had signed papers and stared at white tiles until they blurred. Saying, "I forgive you," did not feel like enough. Guilt crept like cold through his days. He started to keep the radio on at night to chase silence. He left lights burning down the hall. He avoided returning calls from friends who asked if he was all right. He became a man who watched the clock until the hour when the hallway decided to present its question. When the figure came close enough to make out a face, Marcus saw David and not David. The mouth was the same crooked line. The eyes held the jokes from childhood and something else, a small hard glitter like frost. "You left," it said the first time, and the words hit Marcus like a struck bell. He thought of the last night with a clarity that hurt. They had argued about nothing and everything. Marcus had slammed the door and walked away, adrenaline and shame making him move faster than sense. He had meant to go back. He had meant to call. His phone held a message that never traveled into words. The thought of not having returned burned through him. He had stayed. Night after night, the hallway became a place where memory and accusation braided together. Sometimes a figure reminded him of small things. The way he used to take the bigger piece of cake. The nights he left David alone when the city was rough. Other times it revealed moments Marcus had kept even from himself. The time he pretended to be asleep when David cried. The petty pride that stopped him from giving help when it was needed. These confessions felt like bad weather. They soaked Marcus until the edges of his life blurred. He stopped leaving the house. He stopped answering the door. He ate cold food and slept badly, waiting for the figure to appear so he could demand a reason or mercy. One night, tired of the slow bruising of uncertainty, Marcus pulled a small box from a closet. It held things from their early years. A comic with bent corners, a cheap watch that had stopped when they were teenagers, a photograph of them at a fair with their arms slung around each other. He placed the box in the hallway and opened it under the dim light. As if setting an offering on an altar, the figure watched. For a long moment there was only the hum from the bulb and the quiet scrape of nothing. Marcus felt foolish and raw. He laughed softly, a thin sound. "Tell me what you want," he said to the empty air. When the figure answered, the voice was David's and also not his. "I want you to stop waiting," it said. The words were simple and terrible. "I want you to live." Marcus wanted to shout. "You died," he said. "You are the one who—" His voice broke. The list of accusations he had rehearsed scrambled like papers in wind. He was guilty, yes, but the figure's demand rolled over him with a weight he had not expected. "You think I came back to blame you," the figure said, stepping closer until the scar on its knuckles showed in the light. "But I came because you stayed. You are the one caught in the doorway." Marcus knelt on the floor, as if the action could change the shape of the world. He felt small and unbearably human. "I thought staying would keep us safe," he whispered. "I thought if I didn't leave, nothing would break. Staying is different from holding. David said, you held on to guilt like armor. It cut both of us." The hallway seemed to listen. The old clock in the living room clicked with careful patience. Marcus spoke then, not bravely, but simply. He named the nights he had been jealous, the chances he had refused, the small cruelties that had felt like self-defense. He said he was sorry for the silences, sorry for the calls he did not take, sorry for the times he chose ease over courage. He said each. He began living.